Hello everybody, August 15th, 2022. Surprise, I'm doing a video today. I was planning on not being around today in order to do it, but plan changed a little bit, so here I am. So I'll do the video today as normal instead of tomorrow, as I said on Thursday. Alright, so I did the video early, Thursday. So let's just go over what I said then. The name of the video was Buckle Up, the Chop is Here to Stay, and that has turned out to be extraordinarily accurate. The action since then has been just absolutely whipsaw. So, what else did I say? Choppy action continues, likely continue throughout the top of this move and throughout the next move down. So we've got lots and lots of chop to still come. All four paths that I've been talking about for weeks are still valid, so I've posted them again. Those are right here if you want to review them. But the main takeaway is that we're very likely near to a temporary top. Any further rallies are excellent opportunities to deleverage, de-risk, and raise cash. This is what I'm doing. I'm deleveraging, I'm de-risking, I'm raising cash. At this point, I believe I'm somewhere around 15% cash, if I remember correctly. I think that's right. Yeah, and maybe slightly less than 15%. And I plan to raise even more cash if we do go up further from here. I'm not convinced that we're going to. We should, to make it look complete, but we don't have to. It is possible that we've already topped. It was possible that we topped at 24.9 on Thursday. We've seen a new slightly higher high since then, which I used as an opportunity to, take even more profits off of things. So, we can be done with this at any point. So again, main takeaway, if you take nothing else away from this, we are very likely near to a temporary top, okay? This is not the time to get over leveraged on longs or on shorts. I mean, we're still in choppy territory. We do not have a clear short setup at this point in time. So tread carefully, tread lightly. All right, let's take a look at the action. First, the good news is that we do have the minimum requirement to be considered 5 waves. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, and this finally hit the box that was the minimum requirement for 5. Okay, so we have gotten to that minimum. Doesn't mean we're not going to go higher. We could still go higher into that box, and the micro action suggests we probably need to make this look complete, but it's not a guarantee, and we have struck the minimum. So that can be the top, and we can break down from here and it can still be bullish. We have a completed 5-wave pattern. Now, the caveat to that is that this is not an impulsive pattern, it is a diagonal pattern, and they are much less reliable than impulses. So I would certainly prefer for this to be an impulse, but it's not what we got. But it is the first time that we've seen Bitcoin succeed in making 5 waves up. If you've been following me for a while, we've been looking for that off of every single low that we've gotten, right? This could have turned into a diagonal. It failed at 3 waves, right? Back here, this failed in 3 waves, right? 1, 2, 3, that's it. This, 1, 2, 3, failed in 3 waves, right? Every single time we've struck a temporary bottom, we've had a 3-wave rally, which indicated we had further down to go. This is the first time that we actually see 5 waves. All right, so that is a positive sign, and I am upgrading my probability of a bottom to about 80%. When we saw this initial move, I said there's a 70% chance that's the bottom, and I'm buying this area, right? And I said once 5 waves fill out, then I'll upgrade that chance. And I was hoping for an impulse at the time. If we got an impulse, chance the bottom was in is like 90 to 95%. But as it's a diagonal, the chances are slightly lower. So I'm just going to upgrade it to about 80% chance bottom's already in. Now that does leave a 20% chance that we could still see a new low. And obviously we want to be careful with that possibility still on there, but that's what risk management is for. All right, so let's go over the possibilities of what we have now. First, primary scenario has been this yellow scenario that we're in within this yellow diagonal. That's been the primary, and it's still the primary for now. So within this, we should be working on this yellow 5. Like I said, it's possible it ended there, but typically what we would see is A, B, C up in that 5, right? There's the C of 5. Within that C wave, we would typically see 5 waves. C waves are typically 5. I don't consider this to be part of that wave. I think this is A, B, and C, because that's a 5-wave move. So I think that's the end of the B wave, which is why I'm considering that bottom to be the start of this move rather than this lower bottom here. All right, but I'll look at that briefly in a second too. So assuming that's the case, we really only have 3 at this point, maybe 3, right? 1, 2, maybe 3, although it didn't really exceed 1 to any great degree. So the most likely scenario then, if this is correct, is that this is A, B, C of 3, right? So we're still going to get a pop up there for a 3, then we come down for a 4, and then up for a 5. And you can see each one of these is forming, like this is A, B, C up in a 1. Yeah. So we'll get A, B, C up in a 3, A, B, C down in a 4, A, B, C up in a 5. So we can still reach the upper regions of this red box. All right. But once again, this entire area is danger. Okay, anywhere in here, and you can see that wick struck it earlier, right? We got up to about, what was it, 25, yeah, 25.2, right? And that is, like I said, the minimum requirement. So there's nothing wrong with this action. If we die from here, it is still bullish in the long run, most likely. All right, but that being said, the micro doesn't look complete yet, so I still think we need to see at a minimum 1 more push up, and if this is ABC of 3, it's very stretched at this point, kind of the downside, but we should see another like slightly higher high, maybe up to 25.8 would be kind of the best case scenario for that 3. So I think I'm just going to move that there for now. And then if it followed like a normal diagonal scenario here, this action is already kind of not normal at all, but we'd get something like this. So maybe we're going to be slightly lower than where we were anticipating before, but still, you know, a little bit higher than where we are now, somewhere in the 26, 27 region, if this wants to play out a full 5 waves. That's what I'm looking at as a possibility, right? It is possible, maybe I'm wrong, maybe this is not the B wave here, maybe it ended back here, in which case we might be a little further along, meaning this is the 1. Instead of that being the 1, that's the 1. Then this is the 2, and this is probably ABC up in our 3, so that could be 3 already. And then this would be 4, and we just get 1 more up in 5. That is possible as well. So let's just put that on 1, 2, that's 3, 4, and 5. So, you know, basically the yellow scenario says we get 2 more higher highs. The orange scenario says we're just going to get 1 more. Either way does not change my opinion on this of how to play it, right? This is de-risk, de-leverage, raise cash zone. Okay, it doesn't matter how high it goes. I don't care how high it goes. I'm going to be raising cash the entire way up. So that is the plan as it currently stands. And like I said, either one of those is possible within this primary scenario. Also possible that it doesn't even do that. It could just be done from here. So let's explore that possibility, I suppose, next. What if that's already the top? Well, if that's already the top, then we're going to draw a fib from the bottom to the top, like so. We're going to get a target here between the 382 and the 618 area. So anywhere from right around 19.9 to 21.9, give or take. So you can call it 20 to 22K basically. That is the ideal location for this to break down to, for us to see a second wave pullback before our next major rally off of that area. Now, even though that's the ideal region, and it's the ideal region more for an impulse than a diagonal. Diagonals can go deeper. So we may end up down here, or they can go as low as the 886, which is about 18.3. All right. So the plan for me, I was doing lots of buys down in this area. So I'm raising cash as much as I can in this area. If all I've got is this 15% that I've raised so far, then that's fine. I'll just use that. And as we go down, I'll begin putting it back in. Maybe 5% goes back in right there. Maybe 5% there. Or even better, maybe it's like 2% here, 5% here, 8% here, and then a little bit more for further down or whatever, just kind of scaling it down as we go down. So scaling back in as we go lower is the way that I'm going to play this. Now if I can get more out of this, as this continues up, maybe I can get up to 20%, 30%, even 40% cash if it goes up really high. Then I'll be doing the same thing. I'll take that cash and I'll scale it in from that fib in the 382 to even down to the 786 area if I need to. And then the stop realistically should be below the 886. But because this is such messy action, it does leave the possibility of we might get like a double bottom and then still go up from here. So I'm probably not going to put a stop on, a hard stop personally. I'll just continue watching the action, and if something shows up that indicates that we're going to get a lower low, then I'll probably just manually stop out. But that's how I'm playing it. You make your own plan, of course, that you're happy with. All right, so that's the plan if the top's already in. Let's go over the alternative scenarios. There is a more bullish scenario, although I have a hard time seeing it actually play out, but it is possible still. The blue scenario is the 1 and the 2 are the same, but the 3 is not yet done, where the yellow scenario says 3 is done there. Blue scenario says that's only the A wave. That's A, B, and we should see a C wave up for 3, followed by a 4 and a higher 5. I have a really tough time seeing how that would actually play out at this point. I think we're closer to the top than that based on a couple of other things, but it is still a possibility, so I've got it on there. If we break over this danger box, that will be my primary scenario at that point in time. Again, doesn't really change anything, I'll probably only raise about 40% cash at the top of that zone. So if we go higher, I still have 60% in crypto, I'm still making profit, and I can raise more cash at these higher levels then, which is fine by me. We'll still get a pullback after that where I can put it all back in. Okay. Slightly more complicated scenario within the yellow scenario is this orange ABC. I think this is getting less and less likely, but it is still technically a possibility that 4 may not be complete. This might be A, this might be B in here since we have a higher high now, and this may still give us a C that comes down a little lower, and then we get a higher high. That's possible as well at this point. This action, the choppier it is, the more this progresses, the more choppy it gets, and the harder it is to tell exactly where we are within this. And that's why I'm really just kind of relying on this zone as saying, like, this is the place to take profit and just ease into cash, and sort of get protective on the portfolio. So looking at the macro viewpoint is really important here when everything gets really cloudy. And then the final scenario is the red one, in which all of this is just corrective action, meaning this is like a W, X, and Y before a deeper drop down. Again, I don't believe that to be the case because this does not look like a three-wave move to me. It looks like 5 up off the low. We've also got some alts that are showing us 5 waves. And so all of that together says to me bottom is likely in. So I think that scenario is relegated to, just that, at this point, 20% chance. Like I said, there's an 80% chance the bottom is already in, so there's a 20% chance that that red scenario is the correct one, and we're going to get a lower low. But I'll take 80% odds for sure, and that's as good as you're ever going to get. You know what I mean? Except for an impulse, these odds are pretty fantastic that the bottom is already in. All right, last thing I want to mention is over on the daily. This RSI is still creeping up. I mentioned this before. We've got this upwards trend line on the RSI. It allowed me to identify like this area right here as a great place to buy more, rather than get afraid and stop out. I bought more there. This little dip, we got near to that line. This little dip, we're getting near to the line. So we are following this upward trend line. The reason I mention this is that is probably going to be the best signal that we get for an actual temporary top, is once this breaks down. Okay, and RSI is calculated on the daily close, so this doesn't count unless it closes the day below it. Okay, so we could see something that actually spikes down, like middle of the day, we could be down below there, but if the price action then goes up, it can conceivably close back above that line. So that's something you need to be careful of. So a daily close below that RSI line would likely tell us that this leg up is complete, and we should expect a pullback from there. And the best case scenario that we could get, I don't know if it's going to be possible or not, but the best case scenario we could get is actually seeing this RSI crash down to an equal or potentially lower low, while the price action gives us a higher low. If we can do that, then we have even more proof the bottom is in, because we have a divergence. That would be a bullish divergence from the bottom, to a higher low on the price action, higher low on the price action and a lower low on the RSI. That's bullish divergence. And that would be a great indication that this could continue upwards and the bottom is in. So anyway, that's how I would be using this RSI. I don't use it necessarily as a trade indicator, but it is good confluence for everything else I'm looking at. All right, so I think that sums up Bitcoin. I will touch base with you all on Friday, and we'll see where we end up with the rest of this week. Hopefully it does press a little bit higher still. I'd love to raise some more cash, but we are definitely in a dangerous area here where top can be in at any time. So I hate to see anybody get wrecked. Obviously you don't have to do what I'm doing, but I am in risk off mode, and I believe that is probably the wisest course of action at this point in time. All right, everybody, have a good night, and I'll talk to you on Friday.